300. What's the deal? It's your folks, Shaka. Wanted to share my thoughts with y'all real quick. So y'all, we back at it again. Recap number 10. And so let's just get into it, y'all. You know, I decided to do this because there were a number of things that I wanted to speak on. And I didn't want to have a bunch of videos behind it, so I just decided to go ahead and do it this way. But the first thing, y'all, I wanted to go ahead and get into the shout outs. You know, shout out to my folks, Divine Intellect, The Knitting Bohemian, Looking Familiar, Genova Astasia, Myra B. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all. Also, shout out to that brother Tough Love, first brother and only brother to share my information on this YouTube platform. You know, y'all so-called black women are the ones that sharing my information, and I appreciate them as well. But pull up and check out that brother's information. You know, he's a can we all get along type of guy, all right? But, and shout out to anybody else. If I ain't seen you, I don't know you, you pulled up, you like the information, you're coming in, you're providing good feedback that we can recognize and respond to, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? But let's just step on into the news, y'all. You know, I was asked about that Roe versus Wade situation, and folks wanted to get my opinion on it. And you know, y'all, in my opinion, that ain't nothing but a live script. Because what y'all realize is that today, Democrats are running this country, and they are running this country terribly, okay? And because we got important election years coming up, well, this year is an important election year, and then next year, you know, they're going to be campaigning for the presidency. They don't have nothing to run on, okay? They don't have nothing to really run on, and so voila, you got this situation here. And you know, y'all, even if they overturn the decision, it's not going to mean anything. It's going to be equivalent to how the federal government does not recognize marijuana as being legal, but the states do. And so it really ain't no difference. It's the same thing with that abortion stuff. It's going to be so many loopholes because the states are still going to have the power to choose, right? It's not really going to be a difference. So in my opinion, that's the only reason why it's a thing right now. A lot of people being overly dramatic about it. And that could be because a lot of people don't even understand politics, okay? And so, yeah. But moving on to the truth of the matter. You know, y'all, I was messaged from someone, their concerns about me doing this series called Who Are They? Now, if you're not aware, we have started a series called Who Are They? Where we speak on various different people. And the reason why we do that on those videos is to help us develop a standard for racial identity. Okay, that is very important. And I think it's more important that we, the so-called people of African descent, the source of the human race, the real example of the human race, okay? We should have a standard more than anybody else, okay? And I think that that's one of the biggest problems on this planet, is that the real chosen people, in my opinion, the real example of the human race, in my opinion, we do not have a standard at all. So stuff is upside down, turned inside out. You know what I'm saying? And so I stand on that. You know, we do that for a reason, and at the end of the day, if you're gonna get upset about us saying stuff like, hey, that's not your real racial identity, you're not as close to us as you say, and you get upset about it, well, who are the premier people then? Okay, see, this is what y'all gotta pay attention to. And this is the benefit, one of the benefits of having a standard, okay? It brings forth the truth. And the reality of it is, the truth is gonna benefit us more than anybody else. That's why they try to keep us away from it. That's why this whole world stays away from it for the most part. So, yeah, I stand on it. And so, moving on. And we got plenty more cases to come. Stay tuned. But moving on to entertainment. You know, I got a message from Genova Estasia. She sent me a clip of Tariq Nasheed speaking on this whole Tulsa situation. Now, if y'all do not know, Tulsa is trying to make some moves down there to get some reparations. And I've spoke on Tulsa before, y'all. My grandfather is actually from Tulsa. I've looked into a lot of the things that went on down there. But she wanted to know exactly why was he sitting around saying that the reason why the reason why so-called black businesses do not exist like they should has a lot to do with the so-called boogeyman, the supremacists, okay? And she wanted to know my thoughts on that. Look, I think that when it comes to that situation, Tariq Nasheed should speak more for his FBA, because I do think that he said so-called black folks will not listen. He should speak more for his FBA regarding that situation. Because the truth of the matter is, yes, there are reasons why so-called black folks are not competing economically out here like we should, but it ain't because of the boogeyman, okay? You know what I'm saying? If Tariq Nasheed gonna continue to share that to his folks, he should do that, but that's not progressive talk. And you know, to be real with y'all, the thing with Tariq Nasheed is how he deals with his audience, how he talks to his audience. It's no different than a Democrat running for office. You know, the reason why you got a lot of his personnel, such as the guy that we had to go ahead and block because he kept harassing, okay, is because a lot of those people, they're over there for superficial reasons. Okay, they're not over there for anything other than, hey, as long as I say FBA'd up, I'm gonna be somebody on the receiving end to get one of those checks. Okay, that's why he's always saying, you know, that's the first thing, we gotta keep that reparations, because most of the people are over there for just for those reasons, superficial reasons. And that's pretty much how he runs his campaign over there. So it's likely that he's gonna say every time that they the reason for everything, especially the reason why we don't have businesses. Because Tariq Nasheed, he expects for these so-called supremacist boogeymen to cut the check, okay? That's what he expects. But I think that at this point in time in the game, because Tariq Nasheed has been talking about this reparation talk for at least a decade, and I don't think that anything has worked in his favor yet. They haven't conformed to anything that he has wanted them to do, him or his FBA. So I would be interested to see what his response would be if they got him on live TV and told him we ain't giving you nothing, okay? I'd be interested in hearing what they say, because at this point in the game, that's what it's looking like so far. But, you know, that's why he does that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he even says that stuff. It ain't nothing but a hustle, in my opinion. And so that's what I would have to say about Tariq Nasheed and him speaking on that FBA thing. He should, hit that reason why he's saying that there are no businesses out here. He should be more likely to speak for his FBA, because we do got problems. I'm not saying that we don't got problems that's stopping us from doing this, but we cannot focus on them if we sitting around here doing what Tariq Nasheed is talking about, okay? Okay, your opposition can't be the solution unless the solution is you defeating your opposition, okay? And so I'll just leave that there. Now, moving on. I was asked about this whole situation. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I get this up. I don't lose myself. Yeah. The next thing that I was asked about here was this whole Blac Chyna situation. Now, I done already told y'all about the Blac Chyna situation on the short, well before this judgment even came. I told y'all that they just was not about to let her walk away with that W. Okay? Number one, they didn't want to give her that money. Number two, they got way too invested in these Kardashians and things like that. And then number three, they didn't want them getting the clout of coming out saying that they won against them like that, just in general. You know what I'm saying? Because they would have got and some if they had won that 100 million, because social media would have gave them way more clout after that. And they were like, nah, we ain't about to let all that go down. Okay? So I kind of expected it. But just like I was telling y'all, what they're doing right now is they're trying to see if they can get some of that money out of the people that follow them, because they did not get it from the Kardashians. So that's pretty much what I would say. The next thing is this whole Dave Chappelle stuff. You know, a couple of people wanted to ask me about that, and y'all, that was staged. It was scripted, okay? That whole situation was a script, and I believe the reason why they did it was because the last time they did it, they got some traffic or whatever. They got this and they got that. But they didn't get what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get the response that they wanted to get. And so they revamped it again. So instead of him being canceled this time, it's an attack, okay? And so they had to tackle him on stage. And then a lot of other people were saying that Dave Chappelle said it was a transgender and different stuff like that. And it's just like, man, y'all gonna keep trying to push this stuff. And you know, that is the problem with Hollywood and entertainment, okay? It's that ego and arrogance over creativity. It's almost like, no, y'all gonna accept this agenda that we're trying to get popping here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna accept it, and this is what it is. And so what they do is they revamp it again, and they do this, and it just really just look crazy as hell. It's the reason why, man, they lost so much influence, okay? And nobody's really paying attention to them for real. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. People might sit down and watch a few TV shows, okay, but after that, they ain't really got no pull like that. And even with the TV shows, a lot of this stuff that they're making behind these expensive cameras has been trash. And then a lot of their writers are looking like they're recruiting them up out of high school. I might even say middle school, okay? But like, yeah, it has not been a good look, okay? But I think that it's straight fake. And speaking of fake, I was also asked about Will and Jada. A lot of people are kind of like, dang, what happened, man? Why did that fizzle out the way that it did? It just went cold. Well, it didn't go cold. I mean, they gave y'all 2 months of it, and it's the same thing. The reason why they did that with them as well is because people were not buying it. That's why they kept pushing it and stuff like that. Will suspended for 10 years. Bad Boys 4 count. I didn't think a lot of that stuff was even in the works, okay? They just made that stuff up. And then when they talk about how they suspended him for 10 years, I'm like, man, really? The Oscars might not even be around in 10 years. That shit might be on a milk carton, okay? check this box, send it in, we might do a little something, okay? Because that shit has no clout today, okay? You see the measures they had to go through. So it's kind of like when they say stuff like that, it was just a whole nothing burger for real, for real. And so what they did was they just kind of put it to the wayside. But one thing they were able to promote is toxic individualism in family units. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that y'all notice is that you never got a scene of all of them together as a family trying to figure it out. You never seen that, okay? Pretty much when it happened, everybody just grew further and further apart, okay? I mean, towards the end, Jada was like, I didn't need you to do that, and yada, 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 just pretty much shitting on Will. And then his ass was sent over to India, okay? And that's just kind of like where it's at right now. And so, yeah, man, I think that was a nothing burger as well. But it also just, again, made Will and Jada look even worse, okay? And I said that before, like, man, it's a shame that that's what they would sell their soul for, and their children, to be promoted like that. Like an old dusty, ratchet ass husband and wife at this stage in their life. You know what I'm saying? Where they have been together for a very long time, and they should have this stuff figured out, or they should kind of like be apart. And so, yeah, y'all, that's what I would say about them. Now let's get on to the social media. So in this social media, y'all, let's start with Kevin Samuels, okay? Now, as y'all know, he passed yesterday. I did make a video and I spoke on a bit about Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? But some of the folks was asking me, what did I think about what actually happened to him, his death and things like that. And I guess I could speak on it a little in brief today. You know, y'all, at the end of the day, Kevin Samuels, he was dabbling in on that side. It's almost kind of like right when he started dabbling heavy in on that side, this kind of happened to him. You know what I'm saying? But even if we just didn't go there, right? If we just like, okay, don't go there and we stay right here, okay? This is a good opportunity for us to talk about, man, how we need to pay more attention to what we are putting in our body, man. Because there's a lot of talk about this brother Kevin Samuels possibly passing away due to a heart attack. And a lot of people are tying that to his Red Bull consumption. That also could be one of the reasons why a lot of the news outlets and stuff like that have not attached to it. Because if that's the case, that's the first thing people are going to start looking at, and that's bad business for them Red Bull people, okay? But y'all, this is just an opportunity for us to kind of speak, you know what I'm saying, on that, man. We got to be more considerate about what we put in our bodies. That's one of the reasons why I made those videos some time ago. So-called black folks have no idea the detriment, man. You cannot do and consume the type of stuff that these other people consume like you do. Like I say, everybody should have that brother Dr. Africa's book. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, they should have it. But you can't get down like that, man. And so I think that that's just what I would say right now on that, man. If anything, this is an opportunity for us to bring more awareness to how we need to be more considerate about what we're putting in our body. And that's real talk. And so moving on. But the next thing I wanted to speak on is this dude Traylor, okay? This guy Traylor. Now I was asked about him, all right? And a few folks wanted to get my opinion and my feedback on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and speak on it. Now, if y'all do not know, he's having some current issues with his child's mother, okay? There's been a little back and forth between them, and a few folks wanted to get my thoughts on it. Look, man, when I look at what's being said, and what he's putting out there on Twitter and stuff like that, this is not about the child. This is about the woman, okay? This is about the woman. And that's clear. And you know, I said this before to men that, look, man, at that stage in your life, when you're in your 20s and things like that, man, most of us, we have no business having children, man. We're not in the right mindset to be having children. You know, we're not in the right mindset to care about the things that we're supposed to care about to ensure that we're raising the most healthy children. And that's just a fact, man. You know, oftentimes when we as men decide to have children, okay, at that early stage in our life, we just do it, man, as an incentive to keep the woman around. And we just believe that that's what you're supposed to do in relationships. You gotta, if you're in a serious relationship, you're supposed to have a kid. You're supposed to do all of these family type things, and y'all take all the family pictures and stuff like that, and that's what's supposed to go down. And that's not 100% true, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more to it than that. And the more to it, typically us as men, we're not gonna really be giving a damn about that type of stuff until we get into our 30s on up. Okay, when we start to hit our real prime. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's just all about the girlfriend, boyfriend thing. And when situations like this go down, it kind of backs up that claim. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is when the disagreements go down, you find that the man oftentimes will use the children as a vehicle to get back at the woman. And it just turns out to be a straight disaster because, listen, if he was really thinking about the kids 100%, he would think to himself, okay, man, I can't be caught, you know, sitting around here saying all this crazy stuff to this woman, man. This could be used against me in the court of law if we go to court, which I plan on doing. Because I assume that he's a guy that got himself together, made some residuals off of this social media stuff. So you would expect for him to be thinking more like a sensible man, saying, you know what, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and call my lawyer up and see what the next move. And that would have been a report on Twitter. Yeah, I talked to my lawyer, it's looking good or whatever. But what he's doing is he's sitting around here and having a little teeny bopper tirade. That's not a good look. And I understand why these things happen to brothers like this is because why? There is no masculine intervention, okay? This is the big reason why you brothers just be doing this stuff blind. And you think it's the thing to do because you're raised by the media and the shit that you see. But you know, I hope that brother get it together. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been seeing, again, I know that there has been a response, but little to no response from the woman's side of things. And so, on to the next thing, this whole raffle thing with Chris Sales. I was asked to give my opinion on that. And look, I'm going to tell y'all like this. I don't do raffles. Okay, this is the reason why I don't do raffles. And the reason why is because I've always believed that they are scams. Every time. I always believed that the raffles were scams. Like, even before the game changed the way that it did today, I always thought that they would collect all the money and keep it and don't really announce a winner. How would you know? Okay? And so I've always thought that. But like now today, with this situation with Chris saying that he did the raffle, but he can't find the winner, I mean, I got to keep it real. It don't look good. You know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with 3 million plus subs and stuff like that, man, that's woo. That's a bad hit on his reputation. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was wrong or right. Maybe, hey, he could be right about what he was saying. But I think that at this point, though, the only thing you can really do is just take his word for it. You don't have to believe it, but you got to take what he's saying, you know, kind of move on. And if something like that, yeah, I've lived life enough to know what goes around definitely comes around. I walk it outside. A lot of times I won't even pick up a quarter, y'all, because it could come back around and get y'all. And so at that point, you just gotta look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he meant right. But if he didn't, he will be facing the consequences, and he'll deal with them accordingly. So that's what I would say. And the lesson should be, don't do raffles. And so just moving on. Last thing here, y'all, is folks wanted to know my opinion on this whole situation with Ken and De'Ara. Some people are like, dang, Ken ain't came out and publicly show love or nothing like that. De'Ara been doing a lot, making a lot of moves. And so I'm gonna say this, y'all, as far as that go, I believe that most definitely he probably has congratulated her in private and things like that. But if y'all look up front, okay, it kind of seemed like De'Ara is kind of moving into a new chapter in her life. And Ken does not play a role in this chapter. I could be wrong about that, but based on what I'm seeing right now, that's what it is. And you know, a lot of people have been asking me, man, y'all ain't said anything about, you know, her doing the Lorvay, and she's had a documentary series. Listen, y'all, I'm happy for De'Ara. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that, you know, she was able to take something like sunglasses and flip it into something like this. You know what I'm saying? Something that's extremely successful, okay? And something that even her fans can receive. A lot of the people that follow her and stuff like that, they can kind of live a little bit through De'Ara through her glasses. However, I be fibbing to y'all if I told y'all I ain't been seeing a lot of these symbols and signs been going on out here in these streets. All right, you know, and I have been seeing them. You know what I'm saying, coming over there up out of De'Ara's camp. But you know, I kind of expected, because that's a decision that she made. And what you see right now with her is somewhat of her going through like a rebirth. Okay, symbolically. This might be a little deep for a lot of the people who follow her on average, but it seems like she is going through a transition, a renewal. And so it could get a little deep on that end, but yeah, y'all, congratulations to De'Ara, you know? And I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. Y'all comment below, like the information, hit the sub button and the bell. We dropping shit y'all like. It's your folks, Shaka the Urban Philosopher. I'm out.